Hello Malevolence Omega, this is Emperor Palpatine with another Sith Raid tutorial. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to run Jedi in Phase 2 of the of the Sith Raid. So first we'll go over required Zetas, and then we'll go over mods, and then we'll go over the method. So when it comes to required Zetas, the Zetas you want are Ezra's Flourish. It's not required, but it does increase damage significantly. You want Hermit Yoda's strength flows from the Force. I think this is the only necessary Zeta for the team, as it hugely increases survivability, and it also just prevents. It's what lets you be able to use Hermit Yoda in extra phases if you have strength flows from the Force, because you can more or less guarantee he survives past Enrage. And then you want Grandmaster Yoda's Battle Meditation. The reason you want Battle Meditation is, again, for survivability, and the turn meter gain is very helpful for Yoda to get him going back into the fight once he spreads his buffs. But you do not need Bastilla's leadership. It is unnecessary for a Sith Raid team in Phase 2, because the bonus tenacity doesn't matter, because you're going to be stacking pain anyway. And then you also don't need to worry about the taunt, because this team doesn't run a single tank. And then for mods, I've got Hermit Yoda at the fastest at 271. You do want him to be as fast as possible. No other stat matters on him, except for maybe health and protection, just to get him to survive a little bit longer. But you don't need anything else. And then on Jolie, I've got him at 233 speed. That's plus 122. You don't need that, but you do want him to be fast so that he can call assist more often, so that he can heal more often. And you can put a little offense in there. It's not necessary, but it does make the team run a little bit better. Ezra, I've got him modded for offense. Today I've got him at 408, and I'm actually going to switch that mod set to this one, my Wampa and Ezra mod set. And the reason I'm putting that on is because it increases his, even though it changes his speed a little bit, it ends up increasing his physical offense by another 500 points, bringing him up to a total of 1019 bonus offense, with some additional critical chance, just so that he can land some additional hits. Makes everything a little bit easier. And if you do have him gear 12, you do want the bayonet. The bayonet makes your life a lot better. The multi-tool is nice, but it's not required, even though the health steal is nice as well. And then for Grandmaster Yoda, I've got him modded for a little bit of physical offense, crit chance, and crit damage, just so that when he hits, he deals more damage. It's as simple as that. And then for Bastilla, I've got her modded for a bunch of extra speed. I've got her at plus 100. You don't need her at plus 100, although it does make things a little bit easier. And I've also got her modded for a little bit of physical offense, but not much, because it's not very necessary at all. So now let's get into the method. So as soon as the run starts, hopefully Hermit Yoda is going to be the fastest one to go. You are going to start trying to get the adds, or the additional enemies, at least one of them to below 50% health. If to optimally run this, you kind of want Darth Sion to be below 50% health, but for the sake of tutorial, I'm going to come in at almost 100%. So you want to try and get one of these guys to below 50% without killing them. That matters, so that you can get Yoda to attack and get his defense, penetration, and offense up. And the reason you want that is so that you deal way more damage to Sion. So I'm going to spread the buffs. The entire team now has defense, penetration, and offense up. And this attack should deal about 100,000 damage. 100,000 or 101,000 right off the bat. You don't need to kill the additionals anymore. I do because it makes my life a lot easier, and that was wrong. I should have called Yoda to assist, but it's not very necessary. So I'm going to leave him at below 50% health so that I can get defense penetration back up on Yoda. So you do that, it's back up, and then I just start wailing on him again. So the order of Master's Training is going to be Grandmaster Yoda and Ezra next, and then you'll do Bastilla and Jolee. Alright, so I'm going to 100,000 damage with his Flourish. Ezra gets to do almost the same amount of damage as Yoda once they get all their buffs out. Yoda does a little bit more, but that's just because his special offense is so much higher. You want to call to assist Yoda as often as possible, because the more attacks Yoda gets, the more damage he does. It's just that simple. Alright, so you see there's no more additional enemies. I'm not getting defense penetration up, and you'll see my damage is a little bit lower, but thankfully Yoda and Ezra are both getting Cycle of Pain, Cycle of Suffering so quickly that it ends up not mattering. And even without all the buffs, Yoda will deal 100,000+ damage on his special ability. Just because he's with these Cycles of Pain, Cycles of Suffering, you do so much more. But the method from here is pretty simple. You just basically, every time an additional is summoned, you want to get one of them to below 50% health, although that can be difficult. It's pretty easy to just accidentally kill them. And then spread those buffs around. That's all there is to it. So it's actually pretty key to use strength flows from the Force frequently, because that will increase, or it'll restore their protection, which gives them bonus protection, or which brings their bonus protection back up slightly. And for that, it'll make the bonuses from having bonus protection last slightly longer. It matters. See, now bonus protection is gone from Ezra. The only way to get it back is to target him with Jolee buffs, or Jolee specials, which is not bad, but it does end up hurting the run slightly. So now that I've got all 4 Masters Training, the damage should just be uphill from here. There's no bad damage. I'm probably going to accidentally kill these guys. Yeah. Whoops. Okay, there we go. So now I want to basic with Yoda, get the defense penetration, and then call Yoda to assist to give him turn meter. I'm probably going to lose Ezra before Enrage. And I want to save Flourish for when I have all the buffs. If you don't save Flourish for when you have all the buffs, yeah, see, I lost Ezra. But here's where the good thing with Joey comes in and his Zeta. I'm actually just going to use a basic here. So once Joey gets his turn, and I want to try and save my my buffs. Okay, so the special ability, if you have his Zeta, it will revive Ezra. See? And now I spread the buffs, call him to assist again, and look at that. Everything is set back up the way it was. So Jolee really helps the survivability of the team if you have him Zetaed. If you don't have him Zetaed, then he's still probably the best Jedi you could run for the team, because having an extra healer is pretty much necessary for the Sith raid. But it looks like I'm going to deal probably about 7% of Scion with this team. So I'm just going to be quiet and let you guys enjoy the rest of the run. Okay, so that was a pretty decent run. Let's see how much damage I did. 4.7 million. That's pretty solid for a Bastilla team. On Heroic, this will probably go down. I'd say about 1,000,000 points of damage, but that's still really solid. So as you can see, the method works. It even let me escape with Hermit Yoda, who I can now use in an additional team. Like if you have Wampa, you can run Beast Mode with him, or you could even run Machine Gun Leia, which I will be doing tutorials for those in the future. But yeah, the team did what it was supposed to, and I'd say that was a pretty solid run. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I will answer them as quickly as possible.